What should you pay attention to when choosing a man? In this video, we will talk about how to choose the right man, what to pay attention to, how to avoid making a mistake in your choice, and how not to take any rash steps. So, in order. First, define your values and priorities. You can write down or note somewhere what is acceptable to you in a man, what you want to see in your man, what positive qualities that he should indeed possess, and what flaws he has that actually resonate with you, meaning those that you are willing to accept and tolerate. First, determine the image of your future man. Determine what kind of lifestyle you envision with your man. This is either, for example, family and many children, or, on the contrary, you are child-free, and so on. In other words, the clearer you are about what you want from life, what kind of relationships you seek, and what kind of family you desire, the easier it will be for you to create that. What are your expectations from a relationship? What do you want from a potential man? How should he treat you? And what kind of relationship will you be building? The clearer you formulate and describe your future relationship, the easier it will be for you to create it, and the better you will understand what you truly want. Be sure to determine what compromises you are willing to make, meaning what you are ready to forgive, which situations are acceptable to you, and which, on the contrary, are unacceptable. So you can take a piece of paper and describe your meeting with your future man, detailing what qualities he possesses, how you live your life with this man, and so on. And in this story, you will understand everything about yourself, and from there, you will base your decisions on your values and priorities. Learn to recognize true quality. When you meet a man, try to turn off your ears a little and observe him. More, pay attention to actions. Some men are particularly good at speaking beautifully and telling you about things that will never happen. But actions are precisely what characterizes a man. If a man tells you something and he follows through, if he keeps his word, or perhaps he doesn't say much, but he is already doing things for you, this speaks to his admirable qualities, meaning his true intentions. But if a man talks a lot and doesn't take action, then that again says something about the kind of man he will be. Listen to his values, his dreams, and his preferences. Just ask him a question about what he dreams of, how he envisions his future life. Listen to his dream and see if it resonates with you. Imagine yourself in his dream. For example, if he dreams of a little house by the sea, and you have always wanted that too, then you already have a common goal and are on the same path. But if you dream of a house by the sea and a big family with 7 children, while he plans to conquer Everest, and doesn't want children in his life, then your paths diverge. So listen to his dreams, what he talks about, and his inner values. You will create that picture of him and stay in that picture for a little while to see if you like it or not. This is indeed what you should start from. Next, a man's attitude says a lot. He may not say beautiful words to you, he may not know how to court a woman elegantly, but he can tie a scarf for you, for example, and that is important to you, or make you wear a hat when it's freezing outside, and so on. Observe how he expresses himself towards you. It doesn't necessarily have to be expensive gifts and grand gestures. It's more about feelings. Look for signs of respect and equality. If you see that a man, for example, consults with you and asks for your opinion, if he respects you, respects your personal boundaries, and does not allow his own to be violated, then a relationship with such a man will develop wonderfully. Next, let's talk about the key qualities that positively influence the creation of a shared life and long-term relationships. The first is honesty and openness. If a man is honest and open with you, and you can truly sense that, understanding that you don't need to distrust him, feeling no skepticism towards him, and simply trusting him completely while communicating, it speaks to his honesty and openness. Your heart feels his honesty, so you don't need to doubt, for example, his words. And this is one of the important indicators of a worthy man. Moving on, responsibility. This means he knows how to take responsibility. He doesn't make empty promises. If he promises you something, he follows through. In other words, he is accountable for his words and his actions. If a man is responsible for his words at the very beginning of a relationship, it will continue to be that way in the future. Therefore, pay attention to this quality. Next, emotional maturity. If a man can control his emotions, if he does not act aggressively, and if he can calmly talk about his feelings, this indicates his emotional maturity. It will be easier to build healthy, strong relationships with such a man. Next, care. If a man starts to show care at the very beginning of a relationship, this indicates his involvement. his affection, and his feelings. In other words, a man won't show care for no reason, especially if he is an egocentric. He can only care about himself, and there will never be any care for you, for example. That's why this is so important. The quality of care. If you see that a man shows it towards you, cherish having such a man by your side. And a willingness to compromise. This means that you see a man, for example, who does not insist solely on his own opinion, on his own point of view. He does not pound his fist on the table and say, "It will be this way and no other way." If a man is willing to listen to you, willing to compromise, and willing to seek a solution that works for both, it indicates that a relationship with such a man will develop wonderfully. This is what to pay attention to when communicating with a man. Now, let's talk about the warning signs, what to look out for, and be cautious of in relationships with such a man. The first is control and manipulation. If you notice that at the very beginning of the relationship a man is trying to shield you from everyone and everything, makes you feel guilty, or tries to blame you for his situations, consider whether you need such a relationship, because it is difficult to change a manipulator and teach him a new way. This is his desire. So pay attention to what is happening in your relationship. Furthermore, selfishness and disrespect, meaning if a man only thinks about himself and does not respect you. This also indicates that it is worth reconsidering such a relationship. Furthermore, deceitfulness, aggression, and violence are qualities to be wary of. If you notice that a man displays aggression not towards you, but towards someone else, such as other men or random women like a waitress or a waiter at a bar, it is a cause for concern. At some point, aggression will be directed at you, aimed at you. Therefore, if a man is aggressive, if you see that he cannot control his emotions, and if he can explode over nothing, it is quite possible that you are dealing with an abuser, and the relationship will be very painful in the future. And pay attention to dependencies. You notice that on one of the first dates, the man gets quite drunk, and on subsequent dates, he also wants to drink. Think about whether you really need all of this, and if you are ready to fall into such an abyss. Also, pay attention to your intuition and what your soul is telling you. If you feel in your heart that this is not your person, but for example, you're already tired of being alone, and you really want a relationship, listen to your heart. Sometimes we make such mistakes because we want to get what we desire here and now, and we go through a very difficult trial in our lives. So listen to your heart, listen to your intuition. It will definitely guide you on what to do. That's all for this video. I was Alice Bardomska. I hope for your likes and subscriptions. Please write in the comments what you would like to discuss in my new videos. Don't forget to hit the bell icon, and goodbye everyone.